Every woman that walks in the door is empowered because she has taken the step to improve her life. As I was holding her baby, I realized that, I know this sounds a little corny, but it does take a village. But it also takes opportunity, and it's, I think, people connecting and investing in people.
You're listening to Wonderful Life with Tom Rohr. From Rogers to Bedford Falls, from Fayetteville to Pottersville, we're discovering how one person's life can have an effect on so many others. My guest today is Virginia Germann. Virginia's mission is to empower women to achieve economic independence by providing a network of support, professional attire, and the development tools to help them thrive in work and in life. Welcome, Virginia.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. Well, so our audience can get to know you a little bit better, will you tell us a little bit about yourself and your family?
Sure. Well, I was born in California, but my family, my dad and mom moved us to the Midwest and to Texas. So I grew up mostly in Texas and went to the University of North Texas and got a marketing degree and started my career as in the corporate world at Nielsen.
Was that the Mean Green?
That was Mean Green.
Okay,
Eagles,
yeah.
Yes. After I graduated, I was working with Nielsen Marketing Research and then went on to work for Mars, Inc., the candy company, but I worked for the pet food side, lived in Atlanta for a while, and then I moved to LA to their headquarters. And it was there that I got interested in nonprofits a little bit because I was on the promotion side. A lot of locals within the LA area would seek out sponsorship, the shelters. While I was there, the local community invited Mars, Pedigree and Whiskas, to put together a program that helped children learn what to do when strange dogs approach them. There was an issue going on in East LA where the plant and the headquarters was based. And so we put together a program, not just me, a lot of people put together a program.
But that tied into the pet care business that you were working.
And we did promotions at children's museums all up and down the West Coast. So LA, San Jose, Seattle, and Portland. We went into museums and talked about spaying and neutering and responsible pet care. And I really got interested in museums. It really sparked something in me. When I came back to LA after the tour, as I call it, I discovered that a friend was starting a children's museum in Southern California. So I volunteered for that and really love the idea of education and sustainability. Animal welfare will always be close to my heart, and empowerment. Those things are really things that I discovered about myself.
Yeah. And there's a lot to do in all those areas, too.
Yeah. So I've been single all this time. After 9/11, I decided to go into the nonprofit world. Okay. So I took all of my talent in marketing and branding experience and the great training that Mars provided to a museum in Northern California, rebrand themselves. Spent about 7.5 years there. Met my partner Andy there.
Before that, when you were working for Mars, did you volunteer at a nonprofit?
Yes, I'm sorry. For almost 5 years, I volunteered at a nonprofit museum, a children's museum that was just starting. All of the, before the building is even built type stuff. And that's what I did up in Northern California.
So tell me about a children's museum. I'm not familiar with, what would you find in a children's museum?
Sure. So this particular one was called Pretend City, and it was all about teaching children about what happens in a city. So they had an area that was a grocery store, and you find this in most children's museums. There was an area, because it was Southern California, there was a beach area, so they would learn safety, beach safety and things like that. There was a theater area so that they could play, act, being on stage. It's really all about the experiential learning. There's just different areas within it. It is very much like what Pretend City was and is now in Southern California.
So I interrupted you. You were out in California.
Yes. I decided to go help a museum in Northern California, and I spent about 7 years in Redding, California at Turtle Bay Exploration Park. It's a beautiful part of the country, and I love it very much. I decided, though, around 2008 that I needed to get back closer to family. And so I started looking for opportunities in the same field using my skill set, and moved here for Crystal Bridges way before it opened to help them again with the very beginnings of branding and mission statement and projects like that. So before it even opened, I helped out there.
And you mentioned Andy, your partner?
My partner. So he moved here too.
All right.
With me, and he works in the community.
Okay.
Here
Is he from California originally?
No, he's from Champaign-Urbana.
So you both have moved around quite a bit.
Yes,
then
we have,
and
yeah.
seen a lot of the
Yes.
country.
Yeah.
So your organization here is Dress for Success, Northwest Arkansas.
That's right.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your motivation for joining Dress for Success here?
Sure.
And tell us a little bit about the organization.
You know, as I mentioned, I'm all about empowerment. And after I left Crystal Ridges, I was consulting and really learning the social media side of marketing, because I have a very traditional marketing background and branding background. I lent a lot of little digital companies some strategic help around social media campaigns. And I was in the middle of, or in between gigs, I had been volunteering for the Women's Foundation of Arkansas, just doing a little, trying to work on STEM programs for young girls here in the area. Met the board president at the time of Dress for Success, and they were looking for an executive director. And that's the first time I'd heard of Dress for Success. So that was in mid-2015. So I've been with the organization for almost 2.5 years. What really interested me is that this is an organization that really is a pathway or open doors for women to empower themselves. Mm-hmm. So every woman that walks in the door, we already see her as empowered, because she has taken the step forward to improve her life. Okay. And we're just holding a space for her that allows her to do that, a safe space.
You facilitate that.
We facilitate that. I mean, that's what it lights me up to be able to do.
Well, you appear to be like a glass is half full. You see the best when you're out there looking at things, you see the best in everything. Most of the time.
I like to cultivate optimism.
Yeah.
I haven't always been that way. I've been on a journey to be in that space.
So you talked about marketing. So marketing is, reaching that customer, and you talked a little bit about getting into social media. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about that experience. How do you connect with your customer here?
We probably could do a better job here. Really who we connect with through social media and through marketing are the people, the network of support. That's part of our mission, is people who help us help the women we serve. The network of support truly is the people who donate clothes. So we communicate through our website and through our speaking engagements and our events about the need for professional attire, full spectrum of what that might be. So we carry scrubs for women who have health services careers, through restaurant wear, and through suits for more administration or corporate jobs. All of our clothes are donated by the community, and that's very important. We also communicate through our events and our interactions throughout the community for investors, people who want to help us further the mission. Okay. And also we seek volunteers who help us really with our programs. We could not do it without volunteers. Right. They interact with our participants on a daily basis.
So now the events you're talking about, is that suiting and job training?
Those are programs. So we have fundraising events, we have awareness events, and then the programs are the suitings. So we have interview suitings for women as well as employment suitings. So once she has her job, after she can come back for a week's worth of clothes.
Oh, okay.
And that's what we call an employment. Now, some women already have a job, but they don't have necessarily the right outfits or the right attire for that particular job. And so we work with referral partners, or people can self-refer. Women can self-refer. It's just an application that they fill out. When they engage with us, we assess what they need, whether it's an interview outfit or resume help or coaching to find the right fit for a job.
So when the women come through your door, do they have a good idea of what they want to do and what their potential is, or is that a big part of what you do?
It depends. Sometimes they already have an interview set up. And I would say a large number of them are looking for work. So we set them up with an outfit to be able to go and interview. As we're evolving as an organization, we will spend more time in that upfront, really helping them figure out what it is that they want to do and need to do. And our programs reflect that. So we have our initial services really help them secure their job, and we have workshops and programs and coaching that help them retain their job and grow their careers.
And then you stay in touch with them along the way.
Yes.
And encourage them and help them continue to be successful as they move into their new life.
Yes.
All right. On your website, you have 7 ways to get involved with Dress for Success. Mm-hmm. Can you go through those 7 ways?
Sure. So first is donating clothes, accessories, professional clothes, business type clothes, business casual. Another way is we have a Suit Sort Saturday once a month. It's on the first Saturday of each month, and that is a wonderful opportunity just to begin to learn about the organization. We have volunteers that come in and help us sort through all of the donations that have arrived in our back room, help us put it on the floor, or do whatever's necessary for the boutique. We call it a boutique office.
Well, it is too. I mean, it's beautiful in here.
Every Saturday we have a group of volunteers that help us, and anyone's welcome to come and help us out. It's for 2 hours from 9 to 11. Another way.
That's probably a great way to get to know you all too.
And we also hold our volunteer orientations on that same day. So you can even learn more. We'll have a video running about who we are and someone here who will answer any questions that you have. We have image consultants, which is probably one of our most important roles, volunteer roles here. And it's people women who help the women suit them for their professional attire. These volunteers act as a professional shopper for them because they will select the clothes necessary depending on what the job is. They also will spend time getting to know the participant and help reviewing her resume and just making sure everything is ready to send her out to be as successful as possible. Okay. So not every woman has a resume, and in that case, we will schedule appointments for them to work with our career services volunteers. Another opportunity to help women. If clothes aren't your thing, you can help them with mock interviewing, reviewing their resume, and making sure it really is working toward whatever position they seek.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a very important position for you here. It probably takes a special person to be able to see that and give the advice in the right way.
It does. What I love, though, it's an opportunity that people can just spend 1 or 2 hours a week. So if they let us know that they can come in, let's say on a Thursday at 1:00, then we'll schedule career services appointments during that time. So it is something that I know is rewarding. I watch it happen almost every day. Mm. And if you don't have a lot of time, but you still want to give back, that is a very good opportunity.
Yeah, and it's great that you can work with an individual's schedule too.
Yes, absolutely. And sometimes some people, volunteers, are on call. For instance, by appointment on Fridays. If some participants aren't able to come during the week because they are working and they only can come on Saturday, then we have volunteers, image consultant and career services volunteers that will come in on a Saturday by appointment. So we're flexible in both helping the women we serve as well as our volunteers. Another way is through our engaging on a new program where we are tracking. We have a new database platform, and we are tracking the success, basically, of our participants. And so we have some opportunities for people who would like to spend some time on the phone talking and touching base with our participants and really understanding whether they're retained their job, how they're doing, if they need any services from us, what kind of letting them know about the workshops that we have available that can help them if they have a need, and just keeping them engaged with the services that we offer.
So that's just part of continuing education of the people that you're working with.
Yes.
Okay.
So that, and we call them engagement volunteers. Okay. There's opportunities to be involved in our fundraising events if you like, if that's what interests you, as well as from a corporate standpoint, we have a lot of opportunities for team building. They can come in and help us with certain events that we have. We twice a year have a inventory reduction sale, and quite often need help in just moving the clothes around and setting it up for a store so that we can sell the inventory from the past season and move it out of the space so we can accept donations for the current season.
Well, there's a lot of different things that you're involved in here. Now, there are also multiple locations in Northwest Arkansas?
Yes, we have this is the Rogers Boutique inside the Frisco Station Mall is our main location. What we call a satellite boutique that's open 2 days a week and is part of the Returning Home Center in Springdale. And we have 2 little rooms in that space, and that is an organization. Returning Home is an organization that we are partnered with to help women who are coming out of incarceration, so re-entry. And Returning Home is actually a large organization that does this for both men and women, and we are very focused on helping them. The whole point is enabling reentry, people coming out of incarceration, to have one stop and get all of the services that they need, whether it's job readiness training to counseling to hygiene products, if that's what they need in the most immediate. We enjoy being part of that program in Springdale. We also see our other women who happen to be in Washington County. So they can come to Returning Home and also have an interview suiting or an employment suiting and career services.
Would you be so kind as to share maybe a few success stories, things that you've witnessed and transformations? And
we have a program or a group called Success Ambassadors, and these are women who have secured a job, have come back to volunteer, share their stories with the community on behalf of Dress for Success. And in particular, I have watched through our workshops, they all attend our workshops and they're involved with us. They love the program and they really want to pay it forward. So those to me are success stories, each one of them. What I like, if we have been able to, through our workshops, been able to help women secure jobs at Walmart Home Office and other places that they might not have thought that they could work. It's just giving them that opportunity as we partner with different corporate partners to interact, discuss what their talents are with a recruiter. And we've had several of those happen. And that's I love watching that happen. They're still there today and very successful.
So they've gone through the process. They've successfully gone through the process, and now they're coming back, and they're part of the ongoing solution that you're offering for others. And I'm sure that people can really relate to them because they were right where they are now.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. And one in particular, Veronica, is really reaching out to her own community and will start workshops that focus on personal development and financial literacy in the Hispanic community. So, and in Spanish. So she's working with us in partnership with us and some of our volunteers to put together workshops that will really help her community. And she's one of our success ambassadors.
And I'm sure that fills a big need here too.
It does. So one of my first suitings, because when we first started, it was me, and I was hiring for a boutique manager, and we had a few volunteers, but I was also doing the suitings. A young woman walked in, and I could tell that the only clothes that were on her back, that's the only thing that
she was wearing.
What she was wearing was what she had, because it didn't fit her at all. And she had an opportunity for a call center job. So she needed, it was sweats that she had on, so she needed the right attire. And I was new at this. And so we began working on, just basic business casual clothes for her. And I gave her a set of clothes, and she went into the dressing room, and she came right back out and asked for underwear. And we did. We had underwear, and she said, I didn't think others would appreciate that. And I gave her what she needed, and then she was softly crying because when she came back out in her outfit, she just said, he burned everything as I drove away in the front yard. So she literally didn't even
She had
have
lost
underwear.
everything.
She had lost everything. But she cared enough about others to do it the right way. And she was so excited about the opportunity and so grateful. And I think probably every image consultant will say that their first suiting is, what we call it. Their first suiting is meaningful because you've impacted somebody's life by just showing, a little bit of care and giving them an opportunity. So that is a favorite moment of mine.
Yeah. And what great validation that you were in the right place doing the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Another favorite moment is in the Springdale boutique. We had a participant walk in with her baby in a stroller. And we usually we ask them to make sure they have childcare, but her babysitter canceled at the last minute, and she had an interview the next day, and she was so determined that she said, I just showed up. So she had it all set up in a stroller, and her little boy was quiet for the most part, but then got a little bit fussy. So I just picked him up and held him as she was being helped by one of our volunteers. Mm-hmm. And I think as I was holding her baby, and he was quiet and just happy as could be, I realized that, I know this sounds a little corny, but it does take a village. And she was so determined that she broke the rules, so to speak, to make sure that she could make her interview the next day. And, it was out of her control. I love being able to be part of that empowerment. And that was just it's always been a favorite moment of mine, knowing that we are open to helping women achieve what they need.
Yeah, and being flexible in your approach.
Yeah.
I know Dress for Success is a national organization.
Actually, it's a worldwide organization.
Oh, okay, so a worldwide organization. How similar are each chapters? Is that what you would call yourself, a chapter?
They're called affiliates, and there's 150 affiliates around the world.
So do you evolve to the need, or are there similar services with every affiliate?
Well, I think there's definitely similar services in terms of providing attire and workshops and programs that help them retain their jobs. I think that is important in each of the affiliates, but each affiliate is its own nonprofit, and they can provide what the community needs in terms of services so they can develop their own programs. There are guidelines from the Worldwide Organization, which are, from experience. Mm-hmm. And so we do follow some of those. So, for instance, our programs follow their 4 pillars of personal development, professional development, financial literacy, and health and wellness. And if you think about that, that's kind of very holistic, and it takes in the whole person.
Sure.
It's quite logical. We do follow that, but we also have programs that are specific to this community, like the Hispanic workshops that we're putting together.
Well, now we're blessed in this area to have a lot of corporate offices. Can you talk a little bit about your corporate partners? And I know you also work with referral agencies. Mm-hmm. How does that work?
So our referral agencies are organizations that will refer women to us, like Goodwill Career Services, the workforce centers in both here in Rogers as well as in Fayetteville, the homeless shelters, the women's shelters. They all will refer women here when they are ready when they are job ready. We work with them to make sure that we can meet that need. Our corporate partners help us not only with sponsorships and monetary support, but also with volunteers. And we, like I said earlier, we have opportunities for group events or team building where they can come in and volunteer as a team, but also their expertise. And we've worked with Tyson and JB Hunt in doing workshops, resume writing workshops. Walmart has been a very good partner in providing people who put on our workshops. Arvest is doing our financial literacy workshops this year. Mm-hmm. So we work very closely in partnering with them to share their expertise with the needs of our participants.
Well, and I know from working at Walmart myself, there are so many stories where you talk to people who start at very low level within the organization and have the opportunity through their own individual genius or talent plus hard work to move up in the organization. So I'm sure you're planting a lot of potential seeds like that.
Yes, I think so. And I think it does take hard work, but it also takes opportunity. And it's, I think, people connecting and investing in people. And mm-hmm. I think that's what's important about our relationships with companies. Yeah. We have board members who come from various companies throughout the Northwest Arkansas area. And, that's important in our own growth and ability to thrive.
Yeah. Well, and you seem to meet people right where they are.
That's exactly
and
right.
You engage them and help them become all that they can be.
Yes, that's exactly it.
That's a great story. Well, what are your biggest needs right now? What are your plans going forward, and what are needs that you have right now?
So our biggest needs are volunteers. I will say with our plans to expand our programming, we need volunteers who will engage with our participants. That's on the career services side, as well as what I'm calling post-service and engaging with them in coaching. So we are building up a program that allows us to really track and know what our outcomes are and not just our outputs.
Okay.
So really know whether she's retained her job. And so volunteering is a really big need. We are working towards doubling the number of volunteers that we have. We have an active number of about 60 volunteers, and we'd like to double that to 120. Some of those are one-time event volunteers. So let's say it's 40 volunteers that we have that are involved with us on a daily basis or on a monthly basis. We really are looking for 80 to support our new programming.
So you really have a whole variety of ways that someone could plug in and participate, and that might change over time.
It is changing over time, and it's changing right now. So historically it's been about career services and image consulting, and now it's more about helping us with our workshops, with our programs, with engaging with our participants after their initial services here, is really engaging with them and coaching them and helping them. So there's a lot of opportunity in that regard. We also need financial funds, and so we are embarking on a monthly recurring giving campaign that will really help us from an operational standpoint.
Okay.
I think our other need is social innovation, and it's something that one of my pillars or mantras is about sustainability, and as a leader trying to really see how can we be sustainable not only for the organization, but in helping our participants gain skills. So is there a social innovation or social enterprise that will allow us to generate revenue for the organization to be sustainable and provide skills, resume building skills for our participants? So that's kind of our next phase over the next few years.
Yeah. Well, and we've grown so fast here. There's just so many needs and so many gaps, and it just takes time to evolve. And it sounds like you're really out there engaging and helping the process in so many ways.
Working on it.
All right. Well, so if someone is interested in Dress for Success and getting to know you, what's the best way to contact?
They can reach us via our website, which is dfsnwa.org, or they can email us, virginia@dressforsuccessnwa.org, or call the boutique, which is, do you need that number?
No, well, actually, we will put all that information in the show notes.
Okay.
So
all right.
Please check the show notes, and you'll be able to connect with Virginia. You ready to move to our lightning round?
Oh, sure.
Okay. All right. I've got 3 random questions.
Okay.
All right. The first one is, what's the last thing you watched on TV, and why did you choose to watch it?
I watched The Voice, and I chose to watch it because it is so, I don't know, it's empowering to be able to vote and to choose. And I love music, and I love listening to people who are, singing passionately.
Okay. Are you musically inclined? Do you sing or play an instrument?
I sing and play a little bit of piano. Yeah.
All right. So, but in that particular scenario it's a great forum for somebody to get their foot in the door and make a career out of that.
Yep.
So that aligns with your passion in life.
Yeah.
Well, what would we find you doing outside of the workday?
Well, I like to garden. And I'm a reader, and I like to walk. So I have a fairly big backyard. So right now it's my favorite time of year to plan and plant and watch things grow. Well,
spring is finally here. All right, the last question: if you woke up this morning and you had 2,000 unread emails, and you only had time to answer 300, how would you decide which 300 that you would read and respond to?
Well, I think I would sort by family first, assuming that they emailed me. I think that's what I would start with. Other than that, I don't know. Okay. I don't know.
So you'd focus on the family, and if there was anything real important relative to the family.
Yeah, I would answer family first.
Okay.
I think. And then I probably would look at friends and colleagues. I mean, I hesitate to say it, but probably work emails would be at the bottom of the list.
Okay.
If I only could read 300.
Right. You have your priorities.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're in a good place, too. Well, Virginia, thank you so much for joining us today. And we just really enjoyed getting to know you. And we know that Dress for Success is making a big difference out there, and we wish you continued success.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
And thank you for tuning in to Wonderful Life. And remember, the only thing that you can take with you is that which you give away. This is Tom Rohr, the richest man in town, signing off till next time.
This is the Padua Podcast Network. PaduaMedia.com.